It's a good sign when your own intro gets stuck in your head, right? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Live on Two Wheels. I am Chase on Two Wheels, and my co-host Bo is here. Bo, say hey to everybody. Guys, Bo's going for a weekend at Bernie's vibe, so if he looks... Seeing you is so much greater. Oh my God. How is everybody doing today? Welcome to Live on Two Wheels. We are on episode 13, and this episode, as always, ladies and gentlemen, is sponsored by our buddies over at Tonic, which is a cool motorcycle app that you should check out. We will talk about those guys later. In today's episode, Chase is a, what's it called? Chase is a secret agent, and... so I told you guys...
You said it wrong again.
Wait, what?
You've
what
committed to your own mistake. Secret Service.
I've gone through a lot of my life committing to mistakes and just feeding into it.
Secret Service.
So guys, if you guys watched last week, I have headphones that I typically use to edit videos and stuff, but I don't like the look of headphones. So what I did was I got these
What's wrong with headphones?
Nothing's wrong with headphones. I just don't like them for a show. So what I did is I bought a little secret agent. Look at these. Look at this little secret agent thing. So now, check it.
Secret Service.
Secret Service. Sorry, Bo keeps correcting me. So I can look this way, look at my laptop, look at you guys, and I don't have any crazy thing on my head. So I'm a fan of it. You guys have to let me know in the chat. So for you guys that are new here, this is Live on Tours, your weekly motorcycle live show that's also a podcast. So if you guys don't want to look at our faces, you can actually only listen to us. And
on your favorite podcasting
on your favorite podcasting platform, which, let's all say it together, guys. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Fun fact, I look up the stats today. Do you know that half of the people that listen to this show, the podcast version, half of them are on Apple Podcasts, the other half are on Spotify. Also, no, half are on Android, half are on Apple, and then 60% listen to it on Spotify. It's pretty interesting, right? Guys, if you are listening, if you're one of the 40% that are listening on Apple Podcasts, we would love it if you could write a review for us and give us a little rating. That's going to help us get to the number 2 spot. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying for one. We're not overachievers. We're realistic. Also, if you're watching this video, you guys know what to do from the get-go. Hit that like button if you are here live for the episode. Guys, we're going to do some housekeeping real quick, and we have to talk about this R7.
Dude, that's the royal we. This is going to be one of those episodes where you say lots of things, and I go, mm-hmm.
Right. So it's okay. A lot of you guys are here because y'all are here every week. You know that me and Bo try to cover the entire motorcycle spectrum. I cover the sport side, he covers the cruiser side, and we kind of meet in the middle for the naked stuff. So, oh no! Oh no!
Luke in the background.
Oh God!
Giving you the clap. We're meeting in the middle for the naked stuff. Let's freaking go!
I would like whoever is oh God, I want to take that out. Can I remove that from the record? Oh God. Well, okay, so we're meeting in the middle for the naked stuff, but unfortunately, this is the super sport that we're talking about. So I'm going to do a lot of the talking. I'm done. I might as well leave now. It's not going to get any better. So guys, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to do a little housekeeping first, but if you guys haven't seen, we've told you guys that the channel, ever since it got hacked late last year, has just been this kind of like shell of what it used to be. Now, we have been getting a lot better. We had the Superleggera first ride that came out a few weeks ago. It's doing super well. But y'all, this R7 press launch video, I think everybody on YouTube was so fed up with so much R7 content because everybody sees the spec sheet and it's YouTube. So it's like, I'm going to make a video as soon as possible, and to say my opinion. But every video online of the R7 was all spec sheet talk. And it's just like, how much spec sheet talk can you hear before it's just like, I get it. I know it's a CP2 engine and all this kind of stuff. So when we put that R7 video out, bro, it is blowing up. I don't remember a video that has done that well. So it's super popular. Obviously, you guys really care about the bike. So In that video, you know, when we're making YouTube videos, we can only put so much content in a video. There is a lot I want to talk about with the R7, and I just didn't get in that video. And I'm reading all these comments, and I'm like, I feel like you guys got it way off. So we're going to talk about that in today's episode. But first, housekeeping. What happened this week? What have we...
I mean, all right. So we came back from our various events. You were at Distinguished Gentlemen's Ride.
I did.
Me and Brian were at Get On MotoFest.
Right. How did you like Get On MotoFest? Now, so this is the week after. How did it go? That was their first Get On MotoFest. Revzilla, shout out to them.
Oh, hell yeah. Shout out to them. Shout out to Anthony and High-Vis Brian. They're cool.
There's my boys.
They're cool. Cool dudes. Couple of cool dudes. It was awesome. It is everything that I love about meetups. And
you were on a meetup high going out to that. So so my question to you is, did that quench your meetup thirst that you were having?
No, it
it made it worse.
The fire.
Gotcha.
So the biggest takeaway from this is what I've always loved about the motorcycle community. Each one of the creators and the people that went there, right? All the fans of the creators, like each person, there's so many different personalities.
Right.
Not a single like butting heads or any like clicked off like crap. It was just people enjoying motorcycles and creating content and viewing content about it. And it was just like instantly everybody was just like high-fiving and like it was so cool.
From what the few clips, we haven't edited the video that we're making on the Get On MotoFest yet, but from the clips I've seen from you guys, it looks like a really fun time. And yeah, you're right. I was at the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride on Sunday, and we actually got that video edited today. It'll be out next week, but it's just like a good vibe video. Yeah. Everybody's dressed up. Everybody's in these like classic looking bikes. It's a fun time.
I was smiling the whole time editing.
Yeah, it was a good time.
We got a super chat too, by the way.
We do got a lot of super chats. Thank you guys for doing little super chat things. Who is the R7 made for? We will definitely get into that. I promise. Love the show. Here, break down the R7 means Yamaha's lineup and it's seemingly merging. Yeah, so we're gonna dive all into the R7 stuff. Actually, I mean that's pretty much it, honestly, right? Like there's that. We had the press launch video that for the R7 that came out on Tuesday. Finally, we had that kind of sitting behind an embargo for a little while. If you guys don't know, I was getting a lot of questions because I'm open and honest with people about embargoes and stuff. So at some press launches for motorcycles, the manufacturer actually puts an embargo out, which all that means is all the press people that go to the press launch, nobody can put out their editorial review. Nobody is supposed to put out...
Zero people can put out their opinions about it online before said date.
So that's what an embargo is. So as one of the media people, we had to hold our video until the 25th or 26th, whatever it was. So that's why that video came out then. We learned some things about embargoes. So now we feel better.
We're the only ones that adhere to them ever.
So regardless, we're better informed next time we go. So if you guys don't know, I imagine a lot of you do. We'll get into this R7 thing. So Yamaha just released an R7. It is the same way to the MT-07 that the R3 is to the MT-03, and it's the same way that the MT-10 is to the R1. It is a sport version of an MT-07.
That's a real good way of telling people that you enjoy the MT-10 more than the R1.
Why?
Is that you just listed the ones you liked before the ones you didn't. You were like R3 better than the MT-03, and you're like, and the MT-10 to the R1.
Okay, I'm not going to deny that fact because I do like the R3, but that's interesting, right? I like the R3 more than the MT-03. I like the MT-10 more than I like the R1 because you would think if I liked one of the sport ones, I'd like all the sport ones. So it is interesting that the engine characteristics are the more important thing. So basically what I'm seeing people upset about, and I'll go ahead and we'll hit off on the name thing because both in the press launch, because at the press launch the night before, we had dinner and then we had this presentation that Yamaha gave to us, and they listed off all of this stuff, and I'll go through some of that with you guys just to have some clarity on what drove Yamaha to make this decision. And I can talk about all this stuff because, Yamaha put it out, and some of the other reviewers have talked about it as well. So I'm fine to talk about it. So the R7 name, a lot of people are upset because back in the day, and Bo, if you want to show my screen, I can show you guys a photo. Yamaha used to have an R7 back in the day, and it looked like this guy, this little red boy. That supposedly I haven't super researched this R7, but from what I understand, it was a super rare, super high quality machine, right? So now, this is the old one, as you can see. So then when people see the new R7, this is the new R7, and by the way, I think it looks glorious.
It's a pretty mic.
I'm noticing a lot of comments, people say they don't like that center light.
Y'all can get bent.
Yeah, so I truly love the look of this motorcycle. I love every single bit of it, looks-wise at least. So, to each their own. But anyway, so we've got the old school R7 that people, have known. But, like, I don't think a lot of people knew this was even a bike because, like, I've been in the motorcycle space for a hot minute, and I didn't know it was a thing. It was only when we started hearing rumors of the R7, and Bo, I think we found out on the live show that we did about the R7. We started hearing whispers that it was coming out. I started researching it for a live show, one of our Live on Two Wheels episodes, and I was like, oh, there was an R7 in the past. I didn't even know this. Yeah. And to be honest, the majority of y'all, some of y'all care about it, but I honestly, I don't think a lot of y'all care. Truly.
About the old R7.
About the R7. Like, the old one's like, okay, cool. That was a cool bike of its time. It was old, though. We're talking decades ago. Most people don't care these days, okay? So when I heard that the new bike was going to be called an R7, I fully understand that the whole point of them calling it an R7 is to match up with their line. It is not hard to understand that. You can go back a couple episodes of Live on Two Wheels. We absolutely roasted Suzuki for having the most ridiculous product line of their naked bikes. You know what I'm talking about? Like, there was just all these Fs and S's and XRs and like all this lettering that was confusing as hell.
See, that's a very good point, and why okay, so I'm like on the fence, right? Because I do agree that like that's like snagging somebody's number on a team, like
Yeah, I
what I
get
mean?
that. Yeah,
but this is them unifying their lineups, right?
Okay, so
there's MT,
yes,
the nakeds,
and there's R,
So
here's the thing, though: if you've got, so this is one of those situations. Somebody is gonna be pissed either way.
Yeah,
you're either gonna have the minority of people that even know what it was.
It's the vocal minority.
Yeah, because they're all pissed off. They're like, oh, there's already been an R7. If it's going to be called an R7, it should be like a super rare machine. But think about
how many thousands of people now are going to be less confused when they look at an R and they know what they expect.
Not only now, but moving forward, now it's going to be like, oh.
R means fairinged sport bike.
Yeah. To be honest, ever since I've posted the Instagram photos and the YouTube video, seeing how much backlash, and again, like you said, I think it's the vocal minority, but like so I've got some photo sets pulled up. If you'll switch to my screen real quick, Bo. So guys, I compiled a list of to show all the images of the bikes. How easy is it for a person that is looking for a motorcycle on Yamaha? Oh, I want a 300? Cool. MT-03, R3. Mm-hmm. And just for shits and giggles, I put the price differences here on the side so we can all look at those. Oh, a 300 is not really enough for me. Track only R6 if you're going to go the R6 route. Maybe I want a 700. So I've got an MT-07 and I've got an R7. $1,300 price difference.
Oh, wait. Go back up for a second. I just noticed what they did and the reason they did that headlight. Look at the headlight on the MT-07.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a negative space of the the naked one. That's actually really good.
It's cool as hell.
That's a really good design cue that keeps the language the same between the
right. So you, even not knowing what bikes were what, you would know that they have something to do with each other. And we're gonna get to something else. Price point is $8,999, $9,000. R6. More than $3,000 more
to be fair,
than an R7.
That thing has always been a track bike that they, you know what I mean?
Yes. So that's one of the things I said in the video, but we'll keep on.
This is a street bike.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is where this kind of void space. This R7's got a lot of people.
I don't think that'll be void.
That's not going to be void for long. I don't think
it just makes sense.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. Yamaha has not told me anything.
Zero things.
They have gave me no hints. They literally nothing.
They are unifying their lineup. This makes sense.
So here's a couple things. We talked about the MT10 a few episodes ago. The MT10 now is the oddball out. So I think the next couple moves that Yamaha's making is the MT10 is going to get this design language, and I'm sure we're going to see an R9. I would be shocked.
Yeah.
Because I do want to be clear. A lot of people are confused at this, which we see a lot in the industry. R7, R6. Mentally, if you don't know what you're looking into, you think, oh, the bigger number, the faster the bike, right? Entirely wrong.
R6 is a race bike.
It's also more than $3,000 more. So, like, that's a 30% increase in price. So, like, they are... Here's another thing that people get so confused with this R7. And I understand... When somebody sees a bike called an R6 and they see a bike called an R7, they naturally want to think, oh, they're very similar motorcycles. And I've said this online a couple times, y'all, the only things similar to the R6 and the R7 is the body position and the look.
Yeah.
Literally everything is different. You can't even compare them. Like, the naming and the looks are so similar, so it's hard not to, but they could not be. As far as riding, I have 5 years of riding experience on an R6. I have more experience on an R6 than I have any other motorcycle in existence. That bike is not even kind of in the stratosphere of an R7.
Yeah.
That being
what did you say in the video? It's like it's a street bike that you could track.
So my whole thing, the way I conceptualize these two motorcycles, the R6 is a track bike that you can ride on the street if you want to. The R7 is a street bike that can also be a phenomenal track bike. If I was to buy one, and let's just pretend I've got the 13 or the 12 grand that I need for the R6. If I'm going to buy one personally, it is a hands down R7, not even kind of close. So
the MT07 is honestly one of like my favorite bikes from that lineup. Just feels like a big ass dirt bike.
Right.
It's a lot of fun.
Right. So the MT07 was actually the first naked bike I ever did a first ride on, and to this day, I don't think I've giggled as much in a first ride because I rode it like, oh, it's a little 600 something, like it'll be fun, but it was a blast, and I did not expect it. So it always holds like a good spot for me because I remember how much fun I had on it, and so going back to like the R6 versus R7, there is no doubt. The R6 is a faster motorcycle.
100%.
Let me just go ahead and be very clear.
Not even a question.
I'm seeing how much confusion there is. I want to be stupidly clear. That is a faster motorcycle. If you buy that and you will go in a straight line and there's an R7 next to you, you will go faster.
Dude, that it turns. Like, it's a better performing bike.
Yeah, it's a track bike.
You said that on several occasions.
Well, so this is a thing that I was so confused about, and I even told Yamaha this. Their presentation, and I'll get into that after this, but their presentation was all about the R7 being made for the street, right?
Yeah.
So why would you hold a press launch at a track? Don't get me wrong. I had an incredible time. I don't want anything to have changed. But now I'm back in the studio. I've had some time to think about it, and I said it in the day, but like low key, I was just like, bro, I'm just happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? I get like
I'm just happy to be included.
Yeah, I'm just a happy boy. But I just don't understand why they did the press launch at a track, because naturally as reviewers, I have to review it for the track. I am low key though. I am kind of happy they did it at the track, because one, we don't have that kind of opportunity here. Our first ride series do great, but it's all street focused. So I was kind of like, hell yeah, press launches at a track, cool, because this way, when I do a first ride, dude, the first ride's going to be a whole different video. Mm-hmm. The first ride's going to be, okay, cool, I'm stopping at red lights, I'm getting around traffic. It's going to be an entirely different vibe, right? So
it'll be easier to edit, that's for sure.
Oh my God, yeah. So it'll also be, honestly though, if you think about it, the first ride of the R7 that we're going to do a first ride on, that is going to be a far more valuable video than my fat butt on it going around a track. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure like people will buy this for a track bike, especially at that price point, 100%. But there are going to be far more people that buy that as a everyday motorcycle, that want that cool super sport feel. So I honestly think Yamaha's going to do absolutely incredible with this thing. So I want to jump into the power delivery, at least the power delivery differences between an R6 and an R7, and kind of explain why the R7 is a thing, other than syncing up the R line and the MT line. For you guys that haven't ridden an R6, the R6 is this very strange motorcycle where the guys hear me talk about it all the time. It's a very Jekyll and Hyde bike. You have either no power, which is literally I don't know, probably somewhere between 1,000 RPM and 8,000 RPMs. There's very little power in the R6 in that range. But when you start getting to that 7,000, 8,000 and up, that bike starts screaming at you, and it launches like a freaking rocket. So as a rider, that is incredibly hard to, if you're coming into a turn, you're not in the right RPMs or in the right gear, you're going to be thrown off entirely. And one of the things that I noticed with the R7 doing the track day with it, and to be clear, I haven't done a track day in like 4 years, so I was also in a new suit. I was not prepared, but
it's been longer than that, hasn't it? Because
4 or 5. It's been a hot minute.
Because that was Holly, wasn't it?
Yeah, long time.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. But regardless, one of the really cool things, and I touched on this in the press launch video, one of the things I loved about the R7 was its power delivery, similar to the MT-07, very linear, very punchy up front. So it doesn't matter as much if I'm in the right gear. It doesn't matter as much if I'm coming in at the right RPM, because it's got more torque down low. There were numerous times, especially early in the day, I was trying to learn the track and try to figure that out, and I would be in like 2 gears up from where I needed to be, come into a turn, navigate it, do whatever I could, and then get through it. I could actually pull out. The R6, I remember when I was getting into riding in the mountains and stuff like that, I would come into a turn without being in the right spot rev range wise, and dude, you might as well be on a bicycle, because you're going to be like, you can't really shift in the middle of a turn. I mean, you can, but that's suicidal. The R6 makes
like
you
cruiser life, son. Now you're in my lane.
Yeah,
it's like, fifth gear, going 30 miles an hour. Screw it.
Just
pulls.
And you just have to just wait for it to climb up on the revs. And I will something I will agree with a lot of people. They say that the CP2 engine, the noise coming out of it is not as pleasing as the R6 noise. And to be honest, back in the day, I was riding my R6 and doing dumb stuff on the highway. There is a certain noise that motorcycle makes, and it just, yeah. And when it starts yelling, it's because microphones just cannot pick that kind of stuff up. It's a very unique noise. And I do understand that the CP2 engine just doesn't do that. I do want to get I want to wait till the R7 comes out. We see Akrapovic exhaust on it. We see a SE Project or something.
Somebody in the chat brought up a good point. This could be them also gearing into throwing this into the twins class?
I don't think so. I mean, so here's the thing.
Because right now, their twins class is using the MT-07.
Right. So here's the thing. Yamaha brought this up in their pre-press launch presentation. Yes, it will be a bike that can do that. But the reasoning behind this motorcycle is because, excuse me, they were doing... Sorry. I'm a human, okay? I can't stop. They did, what are they called? Where you bring people in and ask them questions.
Focus group.
They did focus groups. So check this out. They got focus groups of people that rode the R6, right? That currently had R6s that were riding them around. And they asked them why they chose to ride on an R6. Do you know what they said? They told them that they chose an R6 because it was easy to ride.
What?
Exactly.
What?
Okay, so here's what they were doing. These people, I get it. They see the R6 looks cool. There's nobody's going to deny that. The R6 looks amazing. These people were buying R6s because they look cool. And bro, they were never revving the bike out. They did not exceed the range in the revs to get to the point where the bike is actually made to ride.
Gotcha.
So all these people are over here just like lazy Susan, just like me. Nobody screamed a thing. If you don't scream an R6, you are wasting space. It is such a pointless motorcycle if you don't get that thing over 9,000 RPMs. So they were like, okay, cool. Would you rather take off some top end, which you got to have a set of balls to take an R6 to 16.5 thousand RPMs. I'm pretty sure that's where it redlines, or that's where it used to redline.
I think the Starship Enterprise uses that RPM to go to warp drive.
Well, like,
Jesus.
Bro, seriously, even in first gear, you have to be going quick to be at 16.5. I mean, you have to be a straightaway. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, you're going so fast and your bike is so twitchy. That's another thing with the R6. When you're high up in the revs, the bike is super twitchy because that's where all the power is. It's all concentrated at the top. Anyway, Yamaha asked all these people, it's like, would you sacrifice some of the top end that you don't even use? You don't even, these people are being asked about the top end that they don't have any experience in.
What's a top end?
What's a top end? I'm in the bottom. They didn't even get to the middle. Anyway, Yamaha asked these people, like, would you sacrifice some top end and to have some more low end torque? Which to these people were the only torque the bike had.
It's the only thing they used.
Oh God. Anyway, so they asked them that. They're like, oh yeah, I'll totally sacrifice some top end. No shit. You will sacrifice top end. So they came out with the R7 to give a more even distribution of power where people will use it. It makes so much sense as a motorcycle. If people want this cool, fancy racer look, which is awesome with the R7, same with the R6, if you want that look, you can now have it and it be rideable. You can't ride an R6 around town and justify that motorcycle. You have to do stupid stuff like I did as a kid and did like highway runs where you're just going like a buck something and just doing dumb stuff. There's no point in it.
All right. So what I want to do, because we do have to go to an ad.
Dang it.
I know. I want to address something that you and I discussed that has popped up several times now.
In the chat?
In the chat and in comments. And that is what's underneath that plastic. Aside from the Crossplane 2, the rest of the goods that's underneath that plastic. Because a lot of people are thinking that they just slap plastic on an MT-07, and I want to get to that and address it.
Okay, so we need to do an ad first?
We'll go an ad, and then I'll release the Kraken.
Oh God. Okay, guys. Yeah, we do. We are sponsored by Tonic. We got to talk about them for a second. So God, there's so much to talk about. All right, let's go to the ad real quick, and then we'll get to all this stuff in a second.
What's going on, guys? So real quick, I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to submit your questions for the Live on Two Wheels show using the hashtag L2W. Just as a reminder, if you guys actually submit a video and we answer your question on the show, we will be sending you a $50 Revzilla gift card or one of the other prizes that we will get from one of our other sponsors. So I've got my phone recording really quickly. First up, we're going to go to the Live on Two Wheels Club over on Tonic. So once you get into there, you guys can see somebody submitted a video of their MT-07. We're going to hit this plus icon. We're going to hit the camera icon. Take video. At that point, we're going to be here in the app. We're going to swap places. This is me actually doing it. Hey, this is me and Chase and Bo. What is your favorite motorcycle and why? Okay. And if we say use video, and then we go into this thing and we just say, who can share this post? You can put anybody. Let's do only members. Done. And at that point, I'm going to hit a check mark. Now, I'm not going to post it because I don't want to be selected to answer my own questions, but we want you guys to submit video questions so we can show them here on the show. And that's how easy it is to do that. So we look forward to getting some of y'all's video submissions over on Tonic. And without further ado, we'll go back to the show.
All right, guys, thank you for Tonic for sponsoring this episode. If you guys want to win a $50 Revzilla gift card at the end of the episode, what we do is we go over on our Tonic page, our club on Tonic. It's called Live on Two Wheels. There will be a link in the description. If you go over there and ask us a question, post a photo, post a meme of Bo, which we love the most, put hashtag L2W. We're going to pick one of you guys at the end of the show and give you a $50 Revzilla gift card. Okay, your question before the ad. Also, Tonic, we love you. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. And, yeah, before the ad, you asked, people think that they took an MT-07 and they put...
Slap some plastic on it.
So...
And some people think it's like, oh, they just inverted the forks. It's like, oh, they're basically... There is a misunderstanding at large that this is literally just a MT-07.
MT-07. So, I mean, the quick answer is no. Like, the shock is different. The frame and subframe are the same. And if you notice, jump to my screen real quick. If you look at the MT-07, I know these pictures aren't highest resolution, guys, but so we still have a tubular frame from the R7 and the MT-07. But if you guys notice, there is this giant piece of aluminum that is there to structurally like hold the frame and geometry better.
It looks like the subframe starts in a different place too, but it's hard to tell in that.
So I'm pretty sure they have the same frame, but the R7 has this structural element because obviously the chassis of the motorcycle is going to be under far more stress on the person that's going to be pushing. A person's going to push an R7 more than they're going to push an MT-07, right? Mm-hmm. So they have this stress piece that, I mean, it just pops on. And knowing how I rode the R7 versus knowing how an MT-07 rides, there is no way in hell that an MT-07 would ride like that R7 did. If I'm almost 100% certain that the shock is different, the forks are totally different.
The rake and trailer are different.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't tell 100%, but it looks like the subframe is at least a little bit different near where it connects in the back.
I mean, the point is
they've taken steps to make this a different bike because the geometry is different. The purpose is different.
The geometry is actually incredibly close to the R7 or the R6. The handlebars are just slightly up more and slightly more towards the rider, and we're talking like super small changes. So as far as a riding position, it's going to feel almost identical to, like, if you're on an R6 and you go to an R7, it's going to feel like the exact same motorcycle. One of the main differences that you're going to feel on this bike is the R7. It is incredibly thin. Yamaha said that it is the thinnest motorcycle they have created. It's thinner than the R3, legitimately. And when you are on a track with that thing, it it again, like just like the power delivers in a linear fashion, and you don't have to really think about, you know, where the power is going to be delivered. You don't have to think about the weight of this thing at all. You flick it in one direction and it is going to fall in that direction. I had an incredible time in the track, and as many of the comments have talked about, I am not a huge track rider, right? I don't have a ton of experience with that, but that bike has so much more potential that I was nowhere close to maxing out. Because a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I'm going to be bored of that motorcycle in no time. If you, like, I was scared to go faster than I was going on the track with that thing. So I really just don't understand the people that are like, they're going to get bored with a bike like that, because there's so much to learn into, because the bike is like, you know, in that area. It's like it's easy to ride, and you still get the like super fun factor of getting to have this like super sport machine. I want to check on any of the other stuff. Oh, so the price is something we haven't really talked about.
Right.
That was another thing that Yamaha was talking to us a lot about, is they were showing us this graph. Motorcycles are just getting more and more expensive, like incredibly expensive. Hence, an R6 costing $12,200, and bro, the MT10 is $12,900. The MT10 is, can you imagine, 800 more? We're not. I can't even go down that path. We don't have enough time. But super sports are just getting to a price point that nobody can afford. Everybody likes the way they look, but you can't afford them. So that is one of the reasons that's one of the huge things that Yamaha was trying hard on, was to make a motorcycle in that super sport vein that people can actually freaking like put the money up for. When I heard what the R7 was going to cost, like my mouth dropped.
Nah, I mean, it makes sense, dude, because one, the R&D for most of the stuff is already done, and it's iteration and improvement. So now that they're unifying the line, right, they can kind of like narrow down the issues they come from year model to year model.
Right.
So it makes sense. They can pay off all the R&D quicker.
Yeah,
if
so
they
on a business end, it makes total
units.
sense as well. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Obviously, like, you make one good engine, and then you focus on like how can you like diversify that engine up and put it in two different classes. One of the interesting things, though, that this is kind of going to push more towards that conversation of Yamaha's got a big open spot here where they need an R9. The R7, if you just, let's pretend you get an R3, right? You're a beginner rider, you've never ridden before. I've said multiple times, the R3 is such a good beginner bike. I love the R3. Yeah. So, okay, you ride the R3. You ride the R3 for a couple years, and then you get an R7, right? You love the R platform. You just want a little more power. Naturally, you go to the R7. Going from the R7 to the R1, this
is the weird spot, because, and this is why people were confused about the R6, R7 thing, is because the next step up in their current lineup is the R6. So it goes R3, R7, R6, R2, R1.
So right now, technically...
Why isn't it called an R10?
Because R1 sounds so much better.
I don't know. It's weird. Anyway.
Canon does the same thing with their cameras. The
true.
lower the number. So... as far as the lineup speed wise, it's R3, R7, used R6, R1. Truly, because the R6 is going to start being track only, but we all know the R6 is such a freaking popular motorcycle, bro. You're going to be able to get a used one of those for literally ever.
Yeah.
They're like these people that are like, oh no, I'm never going to get an R6 again. Literally, Mountain Motorsports texted me today because I asked them, I was like, hey, the second you guys get a used R6 in, let me know because I want to go do a video. They text me today. that a used one came in, and I'm gonna do a video, R6 versus R7 video tomorrow. Like, you guys that are loving the R6, that's fine. Go get a freaking used R6 and shut up. Like, you act like they're all just gonna be like gone. You know what I mean? Like, I've never had a new R6. I've always bought used because, you know, I'm a cheap bastard. But it's not like the R6 is going to go anywhere. You guys can always get used ones. But that does get me really excited for an R9. Not going to lie. Yeah. Like, an R9 with the triple that the MT-09 has would be a very good middle ground.
The ultimate, like, lineup for them, for me... And this is like the simplifying and the unifying of their lines would be, we've got the Naked and the MT.
Yes.
We've got the R for the
Sport, the Super Sport.
But like, what about like the touring or ADV versions?
This is what we were talking about in the shop the other day. So they currently have that T700, the Tenere 700.
Right.
I in my head, I'm pretty sure that Yamaha is going to just diversify the engines between Naked, Super Sport, and Adventure. There's going to be a Tenere 700. I don't think there will be a Tenere 300. Like, you just need more engine than that, I think, personally.
I don't know, dude. That Royal Enfield, the Himalayan, it's like a 400 or something like that.
I mean,
maybe. Itchy Boost took that bitch across. I mean, yeah, of course, it did break down, but like... Some of the older Himalayans. I'll tell you, I enjoyed the Royal Enfield bikes that I rode. So,
you got to ride some at Get On MotoFest?
Yeah, that Continental GT 650.
I've never ridden a Royal Enfield, so
well, son, let's do it.
Hey,
Royal Enfield.
If you're watching or listening, if you're listening on one of your favorite podcast platforms,
yes, one of your three favorite.
So I mean, maybe they'll make a Tenere 300, but I would love to see like Yamaha have this like engine class, and then they just like diversify
each one.
The you know, obviously modify each one. The R7 is not the same as the MT-07. They have the same engine, but they modify the externals to fit it for the job that it's there to do.
Yeah,
I could totally see Tenere being, you know, I was showing you guys those images on my computer. Like, there's gonna be an MT line, there's gonna be an R line, and then right to the left of that, gonna be a T line. Yeah, Tenere line. I think that's really cool. And then, so think about it that way. If Yamaha syncs up their line like this, they put all of their R&D in to make that one engine for that line, bro, price is going to go down.
Yamaha's engines are already bulletproof.
Right,
and
but
so, then you have reliability. They've still ranked it like one of the most, if not the most reliable motorcycle out there. So you'll have that backing.
Right.
And easy to understand and digest lineup.
Yeah. But as far as because, you know, one of the issues with motorcycle pricing is they're getting so expensive. If Yamaha does that and they only have to make one engine for 3 different bikes, like, dude, brand new motorcycles are going to be like affordable. Like, you're actually going to be able to buy a brand new motorcycle if you want. It's not going to be this crazy freaking world where you're going to spend $12,000 on an R6. You know what I mean?
There is a Tenere 250.
Really?
It's in Brazil.
No way.
Yeah. There's one as recent as 2020.
So maybe that's another episode we need to dig into the Tenere. But like, people are already saying that like they think I'm paid by Yamaha. Like,
I wish.
Dude, am I right?
Dude, my day rate would go up.
I know. Mine too. Mine too. I wish I was paid by Yamaha. Unfortunately, I'm not.
Yeah, dude, this is a 250 with the Tenere package on it. This is,
right.
Oh, come on.
So
bring it.
People are bringing up the Tracer 9 and Tracer 900 and the GT that's coming out. Right. I do know that Tracer 900 is there. I think that's there. Like, we're not ready for the Tenere 900, so we're just going to keep rocking out the Tracer for a second. I think long term, they're going to a Tenere 1. That would be great. That would be so hilarious.
Yeah, you want to go up this mountain?
Right. Where'd the mountain go? I blew the mountain up with my engine.
NASA status.
Right.
just all of a sudden you see Chase.
I forgot about this sound bite. Oh my god, I love it. Hold on, I'm checking my topics to hit. Oh, so I know that naturally a lot of people, and I've seen it kind of pop up in the chat a couple times, the RS 660, right? Naturally, people are going to be like, "Hey, it's another cross plane. Like let's like have the conversation." They're very similar motorcycles, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you one. The RS 660 is going. Wow, 660. Did not my brain. Ooh. The RS 660, undoubtedly better motorcycle, right? Like you're able to get a TFT dash. You're able to get an IMU quick shifter. That's one thing I did not like about the R7, by the way. I think I was talking to you about this.
So somebody actually pointed out in the comments that thing is meant. Quick shifters are meant to be real high in the rev range.
So somebody said that, but bro,
on that particular type of quick shifter that is literally just a up. Like there's nothing fancy about it.
I was telling Bo this, guys, and I read the comments like it's made to do it to engage at max RPMs or some shit like that.
I think it was throttle.
Well, regardless. So what people don't understand is like we edit a video down. Like there is so many shots where like I just wasn't saying anything at the time. I had the bike pinned and I was hitting the quick shifter. It is intrusive. Like it takes so much to get it hit that it like disrupts what you're doing. I was using the clutch the whole day at the track. It felt
I tell you, it's editing it sounded like so sometimes, and you're not supposed to do this.
Oh God.
when
I'm terrified right now.
When I'm shifting on the bolt, I'll just drop the throttle and jam it up.
Oh, bro, that's the only way on my Yamaha.
I made my own quick shifter.
On my WR,
clank,
dude.
Clank, clank.
I do the exact same thing. On my WR, it's just like it's a 250, so like you're not going anywhere. It's full throttle, let go, shift, full back on. So I totally get that. Honestly, I should have been doing that. That would have probably felt better to me because that would feel more natural than use the quick shifter. Yeah. But going back to the 660, undoubtedly that is a better motorcycle. But the problem is it costs $2,000 or $3,000 more than the R7. So like it's of course it's gonna be better. Yeah. Like why would it? It would have to be terrible to be not. Could you imagine an Aprilia that comes out, costs $2,000 or $3,000 more than an R7, and then it's worse? I will say the really cool thing about the 660 that Brian was talking about, he went to do the Tuono launch for the 660, so it's kind of like apples to oranges, but it's a similar motorcycle. I love the fact that Aprilia's doing this, get an IMU in your motorcycle after the fact for an additional charge. I think that it's not revolutionary, but like that's going to really change the game moving forward. I really hope that we see more motorcycle companies do that. I would love if I was buying a middleweight super sport and I could just pay a couple $100 extra and get an IMU. I would be totally down for it. Have like leaning traction control
measurement unit, right?
Yeah. So like if you wanted cornering ABS,
it's an accelerometer, it's a gyroscope, it's all the things that tell the bike what's going on physically.
Yeah, and it opens up. So like the way they are doing it with the 660 is all the technology is built into the bike, and the IMU is basically the measuring unit that allows all of that technology to be turned on and used. So It's a really cool aspect. I would have loved to see Yamaha do that with the R7 because I will say, and this is probably because of my terrible riding, there was a couple of turns that I started feeling sketched. That long straight at Amp and that first left that you take, I don't think I nailed that turn once the entire day. So I know I hit that.
Was that turn 2?
No, turn 1.
Turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that's okay.
It's that long straight, and then you literally go in the other direction. There was a couple times I was leaned all the way over, leaned over as I could be, and the rear wheel just started feeling weird. So I got sketched out. I was probably fine. We had really nice tires that day. That's another cool thing. The R7. There are a set of Bridgestones that are made specifically for that motorcycle. If we like went up to Mountain and grabbed a set of those tires and we didn't tell them we wanted the R7 versions, they would not give us the right tires. So they have a specific Bridgestone like compound or some shit that is specifically made for the R7, which is, I mean, that's pretty freaking cool when you're working, you know, with a tire company that's making literally tires for the specific bike. I'm trying to think. God, there's so much I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to think of everything that I needed to hit. We hit it on.
It's a thing again where you keep talking to the camera.
Yeah. We hit the price.
This is the first time that I've drank water at the office, so.
Oh God. Okay, I was gone. So we hit the price. We hit on it's made for the street. To be honest, guys, like after sitting through that Yamaha presentation and seeing kind of like where their heads were at in making this R7, we're going through that initial phase right now where the people are upset that are going to be upset, like whoop-de-doo. But when it comes to people getting keys and riding that motorcycle in the majority of the places that they're going to ride it, which is on the street, and they realize how much more usable the bike is, it's going to feel like a better bike for one than an R6 if they're coming from an R6, like if they have experience. Excuse me. I fully believe that just like the R3 is a purpose-built machine for the street and people love the hell out of it, the exact same thing is going to happen with the R7. You guys are going to see these people start getting their R7s. They're going to be riding them around the street, and you're going to realize how that power is made exactly for how you're going to be riding. Like, people are going to love the motorcycle, and it's going to sell super well. We had a guy in the chat, I don't know if he's still in here, but he was in here earlier. He said he pre-ordered an R7 the moment it came out. And he said by the time he got home from work that day, they were sold out.
Yeah.
Like, you're giving people literally what they ask for. They want a super cool motorcycle that has that look of the R6. You want it to be easy to ride in town, which is where the majority of people ride it, and you want it at a price point that is going to leave you some money in the bank. You get it. You get an R6 looking motorcycle that has mid and low range torque for $9,000, and it fits their lineup.
So here's the thing. Most people, and you brought this up, most people who love an R6 aren't using the R6.
The vast majority.
So, and there are some people out there that do. Absolutely.
Let's give the vocal minority their shine.
So
we know there are people that do that.
So what this means is Yamaha, I mean, they know. They have to know because that's their job is to know what kind of power people are using. Most people who own an R6 are riding it in the streets. 90% of your riding in streets are going to be
puttering,
stop and go,
point
to point.
Yeah, even on highway, you're going to go 16.5 thousand RPMs on the way to work in the morning at 9 o'clock.
This is so. The first bike that I ever owned was the FC6R, which is, if I recall correctly, based off of the old R6 engine.
The FC6R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Tuned down for the street.
Yes.
That thing was still like a stupid fast bike.
Right.
Didn't wind up as high. Most of its power was down low. It was more forgiving in those lower rev ranges, so it didn't bog out as bad. That's essentially what this R7 is a street tuned race bike. It's a bike that they go, okay, this engine has been used in the twins class.
Right.
It's been very successful there. So like, what can we do to bring that down?
Right.
From where they're at? And then the MT-07, same kind of thing. It's like the top of the line is the people who are taking it to the track.
Yeah.
Most people aren't taking it to the track. They're riding it. They're riding it to the freaking store or to work every day. That FC6, I rode every single day to my job in an IT department building 12 miles away from my house. That's it. And then maybe once every 3 months we'd go to the mountains?
Bro, I promise you that if you take two guys...
Hashtag store gang. Okay, T.O., because I have to ask this. Did you ever, when you get a new bike, or when you first started riding, did you just like make up reasons to leave the house? You're just like, I forgot, I forgot this thing at the store. And you come back and be like, oh man, I forgot this other thing at this other store.
No, you you just say, oh, I need this thing. You go ride and come back and be like, you get back, and you're like, shit, I didn't grab anything. Let me go out again just to grab the other thing. And
I would look my wife in the face and I'd be like, do you need anything at the store? It's like, no. Are you sure you don't need anything at the store?
You've never been a better husband than you when you started riding.
I know. I'm thinking of you.
Yes.
Do you need anything? You know what? If you don't need anything, I'm just going to go pick up some stuff just in case. You want some snacks? I'm going to have some snacks around. Maybe a Twix bar or some gummy worms.
I'm pretty sure you'd have to ask Heather, but I'm pretty sure when I first got the MT10.
She said yes.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure when I first brought home the MT10, because like I think I've talked about when I got that MT10 home, I had a resurgence of love for motorcycling. Like that's how big of a deal it was.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there was multiple times like, babe, you out of paper clips? I'm sure we're out of paper clips.
100% you have, because I've seen it was when we were at the shop, when we had the shop in your garage, and you would just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go pick up a drink. Anybody want anything? And I'm like,
right,
your house is
you have a fridge 10 feet away.
We're in it right now, and it's just any excuse to get out and ride.
Right. We should do a show on
bikes while we're riding.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a piece of content for YouTube or if it's a live show.
Possible?
Technically, yeah, but we can barely do this, so let's calm down with that. We should do an episode on how the MT10 got me fell me back in love with riding or something like that.
We got 4 minutes.
Oh my good God. So long story short, the MT-07 is a better, slower middleweight for Yamaha. Like
R7.
What did I say?
MT-07.
Or that too. The R7. So at the end of the day, if we were to boil this whole show down, the R7 is a slower middleweight super sport that Yamaha is going to blow up. That is going to make more people ride, and not only is it going to make more people ride, I would bet my reputation on more people are going to ride and get better at riding, because it allows you to go fast, look fast, and you don't have to focus on being fast. You can focus on the million other things,
which
your
is
body position,
a good point
how you're holding the handlebar. There are bro.
So people in the comments. So I edit that video. What you see where he looks slow. And I will say, he wasn't the fastest person on that trek by a long shot. There was guys out there, they're smoking you.
Yeah.
Right.
Because go to 5:21 or whatever that timestamp is where the guys fly past.
But he was getting on it. What you see in the video are the times where he's talking, because that's what the point is. And at that time, he was not going fast. But, like, he's getting it. You're tapping out 100 in the straights. 60, 70.
I think the best I got was like 102 at the last turn where you lean onto the front. But you
were hucking it. You were getting it.
So that's one of the things.
Just check out Ebe's footage.
Well, like I'm not gonna sit here and argue with the comments.
No, I'm just saying, like that's something, because I don't want that to. I don't want the idea to be that this is a slow bike. It is not a slow bike.
No.
Right.
Absolutely not.
It looked slow on our video because our point wasn't to show you how fast it was.
Right. But also
you'll have to check out the first ride for that.
Well, like, people have no idea. So I found this out on that track day, by the way. I know we're running like close to time and all. So
it's okay. I don't have to go to Texas.
Good point. So like, I've been riding and talking to myself for 10 years, right? It's pretty natural to me. I haven't ridden at speed and tried to talk to myself.
That's a new one.
So you guys can ask Bo. There were a lot of times I was trying to go at speed, and my brain came to a point of like, look, bro, you got two options. You can ride fast and shut the hell up, or you can start talking and slow the hell down.
My favorite, I think it was your third or fourth run.
Yeah.
You were talking the whole time, but all you were doing was yelling instructions to yourself.
Y'all, I don't even remember. The only part I remember that is of the back big turn. I remember coming to the end of it, and I don't know why. It was a flow of consciousness to me. I was coming around the back turn, and I kept backing off because I was worried about the little shift and going down the back straight. I came into that last turn, and I don't know why. I just started
You dingus.
I just started yelling, "Charge! Charge!" What, we have to find that clip, and I have to. I need to post it somewhere.
I think I have I think that was the shortest clip of it because all you were doing the entire time was just like, all right, break in here, okay, braking, all right, now pull through. You were like,
it did help though.
You did. It was your best.
My best lap was me mentally coaching myself on of like, you got this, just lean, go, charge. I remember thinking to myself, like, I got on the straight at the front after that little charge section, and I was just thinking to myself, what the hell is happening? I'm literally yelling to myself. This goes far and beyond me just talking to myself.
Oh, 100%.
Oh God. So guys, we're out of time here. We're gonna do the L2W thing. So you guys that go check us out on Tonic and follow the club live on Two Wheels. We really appreciate that. Bo's gonna look for an L2W real quick.
All right, so we got two options.
Also, dude, this has been by far the biggest live stream we've done. So shout out to all you guys. We appreciate y'all checking out our little weekly live show.
You can tell people are freaking excited about this bike,
bro.
So it's like it's one of those things. Everybody's excited, and just maybe on the other side of the fence, like one side or the other, and that's what I like about.
Yeah, it's just conversation.
So like I'm not a sport bike guy. But I do appreciate when businesses try to unify that because I hate brand confusion, model confusion.
So sorry, something's in my throat. Suzuki so much. God, hey, don't you fucking.
All right, so we got two options. I'm gonna come over there.
Okay. So guys, thank you guys for checking out our live show. We're gonna pick somebody, get our little $50 gift card to Revzilla, and we do this every week. So you guys make sure to come back next Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and follow us on podcast platforms, your favorite ones, specifically Spotify.
All right, so we have two of them. I want you to look and see which one.
This and this. Mm-hmm. Have either of these people won before?
No. I like this one because
let's do that. So Dinah Divine asked us, what's the question? Whenever we do camera car, do we get weird looks?
Yeah. Okay. So let me put my my ears back on. All right, Dinah Divine. When you do first rides and use the camera car, do you ever get any weird interactions from people? The answer is a resounding yes.
Well, we do, but like our camera car is so stealth, though. Like I feel like
there is nothing stealth about the back end of that Jeep, and I can tell you from operating the gimbal and driving it, the looks that you get. Everywhere we go, people think that we're filming like a movie or something.
We are. It's a first ride movie.
My favorite interaction thus far. Because sometimes you'll see people and they kind of like ham it up or they'll like look over. Mm-hmm. This one lady was in her car at a stoplight and she was on her phone and she looked over and she just sunk down like she had warrants. She just disappeared. And I was like, oh, bro, somebody's parole officer is going to be real pissed to find out she's out there.
That actually brings up a really good point. For one, Dinah Divine, Bo will be in touch with you to get your gift card, but bro, that's one of the things I am the most excited for our first ride is the camera car footage of an R7.
You mean actually?
Don't you do it.
Okay.
Don't you do it. No, we're not going there.
Okay. Well, I will just say this. I am excited to be given the opportunity to produce camera car footage of that specific motorcycle.
That's fair. I'll let you keep that. So, guys, stay tuned. The Yamaha said we'll be able to get an R7 in the shop. I don't know when that will happen, but seeing how you guys reacted to our R7 press launch video, I imagine will probably be pretty high on the list of media to get an R7. And the second we get that thing, we can actually put boots on the ground. We can actually test it in the environment that it's made for. And that's going to be the true test. Honestly, I think it's a phenomenal track bike. I would prefer the R7 over the R6 for a track bike, honestly. Price-wise and stuff, I would have a better time on track with an R7. And that's what we got. I'm excited. You guys are clearly either excited or pissed. Either way, it doesn't matter because it's everybody's talking about this thing.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting time, man. Yep. I'm excited about the R7 coming out. Will it be the awesome road bike? I hope it is. I hope so. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that it's going to be until I ride it, because that's
literally what you do.
It's literally my job. Is like, I loved it for what it is right now, but I haven't ridden it.
Yeah, you guys just hold on to your butts.
Yeah.
When the first ride comes out, we're gonna be like, it's gonna be full on.
Yeah. If I giggle in the first ride of the R7, then that's when we know.
Yep.
That's when we know. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a phenomenal rest of the week. For you guys that are new here, thanks for checking out the live show. We really appreciate it. And we will be back here next Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, giving out more Revzilla gift cards and talking more motorcycles, because we do this every week. We'll see you guys then. And for you listener people, we'll try to have the podcast episode out tomorrow. We were bad about it last week, but we had all the meetups and stuff. So.
I was in Texas, so it's not my fault.
Yeah, well, fair fact. That being said, we put the podcast out today, so we're gonna get better at that. We promise. You guys have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Garbage truck boy.